Hey guys, thanks so much for having me at this week of Pink. How is everybody doing? My name is Mel, and I am wanting to share just a bit about my story and how I have come to be doing the business and loving people well. I was not doing well myself. About 2 years ago, we had a child who was very seizure prone. I don't know if your child has had seizures or you are a medical mama or dad of a child in your family, but I just want to take a minute to validate that is hard. There are so many things that go into that. The extra attention that you have to give to that child versus all of the other children. 4.5 years ago, we had 5 kids, 5 and under. We had just brought home our twins. And life was absolutely chaotic. And at 18 months, I walked in on my son, who was gray and not moving in his crib. And from then on, we realized that he had 3 different types of seizures, and which caused my brain just to absolutely be overwhelmed with the possibilities of what could happen to him. And 1 week after we found out that he had seizures, we moved to a tiny little rural town in BC. And so my life went from bad to worse because now I don't know anybody. And the move was already in progress, and it was for my husband's job. So there was not a lot that we were choosing to do. We moved and we knew that God was in control, and yet we didn't know what the next steps look like. And so there are some things that happened that made me really scared for my own life and for my children, and them watching their mom who was drowning, and I had no energy, and then I got whiplash, and then our house flooded, and then there was fires, and oh my goodness, okay, there are things that could have happened that are a lot worse. At that point in my life, I couldn't imagine anything worse, and I wanted to leave. And a friend, Alyssa, you've seen her pop up in this group, she thought that she could maybe message me and just offer some hope and offer some help, saying there's gut health supplements that are available to you that have a lot to do with our mental space. Why don't you take a look at it? And then she didn't talk to me for months about it at all. And I was so low, I didn't even think about it. And then one day some stories popped up. One story in particular, and I don't even remember which one it is at this time. And yet I read it and it just clicked. Like, I had tried so many things and they weren't working. And I thought, I have nothing left to lose. And so I tried it, and within 1 month I noticed instead of having 15 panic attacks that week, I had 1 the entire month. And I knew that something was changing. I didn't recognize it at first, and my detox was pretty hardcore. And yet I was finally starting to feel something different. I felt joy. I actually laughed with my kids. And that's something to write home about for sure, because there's so much that happens in our life where we're not happy, and we're not necessarily called to be happy in this life. However, laughing is a gift from God, and smiling is a gift from God. And so I was able to finally laugh and smile again. And it was just a really neat thing to be able to start feeling like I was healing and start feeling like I was in control again, hey? And so when that started happening, people started to notice, because I was really low. I would cry all the time and I couldn't hide it as much as I thought that I was hiding it. Hey, as moms, we can kind of get going and we just get busy and we get on track and we get into our zone and we just do our thing. And yet we're dying on the inside. And sometimes, a lot of times, people can notice that much more than we think that we're letting on. And one person stopped me on the side of the road as I was going into the little post office one day. And he says, Mel, you always used to be so happy. And then you're sad, so sad. But now you're kind of getting back to who you are. And it's nice to see you smile again. And I was like, oh no, like how many other people could notice? And then I thought, you know what? That's okay. I am starting to heal and I am starting to feel better. And maybe I can use this for somebody else's good. And I reached out to my friend Emily, not because I had much experience with chronic pain. I would say that my whiplash was starting to heal, or I was starting to feel better, because mentally I was available, maybe instead of just vying for my own life, that my body could actually start to heal itself, you know? And I reached out to Em. You heard a little bit this morning, and just said, hey, I don't know if these are going to help you. I've heard lots about it. are you willing to give it a try? And I gave her some testimonies and signed her into the group, and she started, and now she has her own story and her own testimony. And we don't know when we share if this is going to be the perfect fit for everybody, and you can look after your gut health in many different ways. The way that Plexus does it, though, is so smart, and it takes all the guesswork out of it for me. Usually when people start Plexus, we're all really low at some point. For me, it was mentally. Lots of people, it's physically, where you can't think through a change in diet or a change in your complete schedule to fit in exercise, or like it just meets you where you're at. And then it's a snowball effect of I was feeling better, so I wanted to cook better, and then that made me feel even better, so I wanted to go outside, and then that sunshine, it felt amazing, and I was meeting people, and then when I met people, I felt connected and like I had friends. And see, like everyone wants to feel better. And it was said to me a while ago, and I've kind of hung on to this, is that what we have is very similar to what a lady with a coffee pot is doing in a restaurant. When she walks around with that coffee pot, she's simply offering to fill people's cups with coffee. And if they don't want it, they say no thank you. If they've had enough, they say no thank you. If they want it, they say yes please. If they say, oh, I'll try it, I might not drink all of it, but sure. That is just like us, is all we're doing is offering help and hope for people. And it brought so much joy to my heart to know that I could do that for people. And now the testimonies that come rolling through my email or my Facebook each week to say my children can finally poop, or my son isn't itching as much as he used to be, or I haven't felt this way in 40 years. Like when you start to understand even the complexities of the ingredients and how they work. If you're a green personality and you love information, this is a place for you, because there's so much information and so many clinical studies that you can study, and so much that you can have in your brain about how network marketing works and the legitimacy of it, and all of the nitty gritty about all of the science stuff behind it. If you are red and if you love money, who doesn't love money? If you love goals and challenges and motivation and prizes and to be competitive and to love people well and to run hard after a goal, this is for you. This is a place that you set the limit, and it is legitimately unlimitless. Is that even a word? You get my point. There are people who are making $1 million a year in this company. Isn't that incredible? Who are driving cars and going on trips, and who's changing thousands of people's lives. If you're a yellow, you're driven to help people, and this is the place for you. You listen well, and you're soft, and you are able to kind of meet people's needs in an unassuming way, and everyone wants that friend. And if you are a blue, you love parties and you love to gather community around you, this is the place. The community in Plexus is incredible. The way that we support each other, the people that got me into it, and then the people that are coming alongside of me and after me, we all work together, and we all run our businesses very differently, but our goal is the same, is to help others the way that we ourselves have been helped and what we know is possible. And so if any of this resonates with you, talk to your person that got you into this, because we would love to walk alongside of you. You do nothing on your own, and we want to see you be successful both physically and financially. Love you all. Even though I don't know you, I just think that we're very like-minded if you're a part of this, and I'm so grateful that you're taking the time to be with us. Have a really great Christmas.